Hi you guys, my name is Cherita. Welcome to my channel. Alright, so I just got my lashes done and I'm on my way to go pick up Miles. So there's, I think, two things that I want to talk about. I don't know if I'm going to get through all of them because you guys know tangents. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the movie called You People. So there's a few reasons I want to talk about this. I haven't really seen too many other perspectives on this movie, so this is just me watching it and not really looking at what other people had to say after I watched the movie. I did see something circulating, and we'll get to that, but You People is a movie on Netflix. It was written by Jonah Hill and Kenya Burris, and it's a movie about an interracial relationship between Jonah Hill and Lauren London. And I think the movie is very realistic-ish in the way that how people can act, towards other races. And so Jonah Hill plays a white Jewish man. I don't know if Jonah Hill is Jewish in real life, but he plays a white Jewish man, and Lauren London plays a black person. And they get into a relationship. It's not that they were looking for one another or anything like that. And they meet, they fall in love, they do all the things. Now, I do want to talk about Lauren London's first boyfriend, because the movie opens up and she's breaking up with this guy, and he gives off kind of Hotep-y vibes, he's trying to be something he's not. He's telling her how, his favorite writer is James Baldwin, but I don't think he's ever read anything James Baldwin, because he was just getting inside info from Lauren London's dad. If I call her Nunu, forgive me, because if you know, you know. So anyway, she breaks up with this guy, and and then she meets Jonah Hill's character, Ezra, and they fall in love. It's cute. So the relationship, I don't know if I missed something, but it seems like the relationship takes off really fast. And then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, Jonah Hill, his character, is telling his best friend, a black lesbian, that he wants to marry her. A little bit of background into Jonah Hill's character. He's a white Jewish, born into a rich Jewish family, but for some reason, I don't know if this was explained well enough, but he is, he's surrounded by black culture. And he does a podcast with his best friend, who is a black lesbian, called The Culture or something like that. He hosts a podcast. It's really cool. You've got a straight cis white man, and you've got a black cis lesbian woman. And they talk about the culture. They talk about a lot of things. And and so Jonah Hill doesn't go out looking for black women. Lauren Hill just happens to be a black woman that he fell in love with. And same with Lauren London's character. She dates mostly black men. That's what they insinuated in the movie. And now she's dating Jonah Hill, Ezra, who happens to be white. And so now we've got two people who just happen to be in love. It's one of those oh, we don't see color, that type of situation. But the parents do see color. But also I think there were mistakes made. I'm gonna have to think about Lauren London's character. But immediately the first thing they do is they meet Jonah Hill's parents, and both of his parents are very like, they're trying to be progressive. They're trying to understand not just Black culture, but also LGBTQ community, because they have a daughter who's a lesbian. And you can tell that it's something that they're not comfortable with, but they also are not going to disown their children because they're not dating somebody white, or they're not, in a heterosexual relationship. And so, so it seems like whenever Amira, that's Lauren London's character's name. It seems like when Amira is always around, the mom always wants to talk about like Black issues. Like out of nowhere, she was like, I think cops are sons of bitches. And it's like, wait, what? Like, where did this come from? And she's talking about, just like BLM and like blah, blah, blah. And you can tell she has good intentions, but it's like, you do know that Lauren London is a human, and you don't have to just like jump into those conversations. Like, you don't even know the girl's last name. Like, let's bring it back a couple notches, And it's like, oh my God, like your hair, I love your hair. Oh, and your long nails and your chain, like it says your name on it. Like, these are all things that are normal, I guess, in the Black community, but not really seen in white culture, or white American culture, if you will. And she treats her as if she's like a toy or an object, not so much a human. So we've got that white lady, and then we've got on the other end, we've got Lauren London's father, who's played by Eddie Murphy, and I forget what his government name was like given to him on like in the movie, but he changes his name to Akbar, and now he's like Muslim, and he's very what's the word I'm looking, like Hotepi, you know what I mean? And it's giving like, my daughter, I only want my daughter to like marry a Black man, a Black Muslim man at that. And so it was just very like, we know those types of men. And again, Eddie Murphy's character, Akbar, whatever his name was, he treats Ezra as if he will just never be good enough for his daughter, solely based on the fact that he is a white man. And so his character does things like takes Jonah Hill, Ezra, to a basketball court, and Ezra like shows that like he knows how to hoop, because that's kind of like what he grew up around. But then he also takes Ezra to a barber, but it was in a Crip neighborhood, and he's wearing a red shirt, a red hoodie, and he's doing this to make him uncomfortable, and he's doing it on purpose. And then and where Jonah Hill's character went wrong was when he met Lauren London's parents, and decided that he wanted to take them to eat at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. Like, I understand Roscoe's is good, don't get me wrong, but like, when you are a white person and you're trying to impress your future in-laws who happen to be Black, you don't want to take them to Roscoe's. Like, why couldn't they have gone to Applebee's, Chevy's, Chili's, BJ's, if you will? So that's where he went wrong. And then I think where Lauren London's character went wrong was really trying to impress, like, or like impart like her father's beliefs into their relationship and their wedding. I'm like, you guys are already like having sex and you had bacon. You ate bacon. So like, are you a Muslim, or are you just like wanting to impress your dad for whatever reason? I don't know. I feel like those were kind of like two mistakes that were made within like their relationship, but you know, it happens. What else? Oh, so there's a bachelor party and a bachelorette party, and Eddie Murphy like weasels his way into Ezra's bachelor party, and he was just, well, his friends were being dicks. They're like, hey, remember all the cocaine that you did, and you know, you shot yourself, and you this and you that, and blah blah blah, all stuff that he did before he met Amira. And it's like, okay, friends, read the room. Like, this is my future father-in-law, and it's like there's certain things that like parents just don't need to know about, you know, especially if he's not active, if he's not like a drug user, if he's not actively doing drugs, like if that's not who he is, if that was just like his college party life, like why do they need to know that? They don't need to know that. Read the room. And so now Eddie Murphy is like, has even more doubts about Ezra. Like, not only is he white, but like he does cocaine, or at least he heard he did cocaine or whatever. I hope that lady's okay. She's in a Tesla and she's stopped on the side of the road. So anyway, and then at the bachelorette party, it was Lauren London and her crew. So it was all black women, and then the future mother-in-law and Ezra's sister. And the mom just like immediately, she's just like, oh, you guys are just so like, she didn't say exotic, but those are the vibes she was giving off. Like, oh my God, you guys are so exotic. And like, I love your outfit and I love your tattoo. What does that say? And it was like, rest in peace, like big cuz or something. I don't know. And like, it's just like, why are you even asking these questions? Like, I'm having a hard time understanding. Like, just go with the flow. And then at one point she like rips the wig off of one of her friends, one of Lauren London's friends, and she's like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was a wig. Like, oh my God, it was not really frustrating to see, but those are things that I believe happen in real life with, you know, like people who are uncomfortable in those types of situations. One of the, I guess, I don't know. There was a part in the movie where all, like, the entire family got together. So Ezra's family and Amira's family, they get together. And of course, like, for whatever reason, you know, they're talking about, like, you know, the Holocaust and slavery. And I know for whatever reason, people love to play the oppression Olympics. And it's like, like, I don't know why you would want to be more oppressed. But also maybe it's one of those, well, we, you know, like, we came from nothing, so how come you guys can't do it? And a part that really resonated was when the dad, you know, they were asking Ezra's dad, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm a podiatrist. And they're like, oh, okay, how'd you get into that business? Well, my dad was a podiatrist. Oh, okay. And how did he get into that business? Well, you know, his dad was a podiatrist. So that's like 3 generations of like podiatryism. Whereas, yes, I just made that word up. Whereas Eddie Murphy was like, well, my grandmother was picking cotton. So we're not really from the same place. Like, I understand that Jews were the first slaves. Jewish people were the first slaves, but that was so long ago, and they got they got money and whatever to build off of that. Whereas slavery was not that long ago, and we're still waiting for our 40 acres and a mule. And so it's like, I just don't think we should or can compare the two, because they're not the same at all. And whereas black people didn't get a chance to build that generational wealth, because when slaves were let free, what happened after that? Cops. Like, literally, it was like, okay, well, they're free, but we're gonna make it to where, like, we're going to imprison them for literally just being black, because, you know, it was like, well, we let them free with no house, no money, no jobs, no this, no that, and they're just wandering around, so we're gonna call that loitering, and we're gonna put them in prison. And that's how that became. So I just don't think, like, there's a true comparison between the two, but that's neither here nor there. So towards, like, the climax of the movie, like, or I guess that would be the climax. At the climax of the movie, you know, they're at their engagement party, because Ezra does propose, and, you know, Amira does say yes, and so they're at their engagement party, and Ezra basically tells Eddie Murphy, like, this is how I feel, like, you're trying to make me look like a jackass, and Eddie Murphy tells Ezra, like, you'll never be good enough for my daughter, like, I know you will never be good enough for my daughter. And so Ezra basically, like, goes off on him and was just like, these are the things that you've done to me. And he's like, we love each other, like, and, you know, but, like, you're making it hard for us to maintain a relationship. And then the same happens for Amira. She says the same thing to Jonah Hill's mom, and was like, look, I understand. Oh, before that, Lauren London's, like, at the engagement party, the mom was like, oh my gosh, is that a roller set? Like, about her hair. Oh my God, is that a roller set? And she was like, what? Is that a roller set? And she was like, no. And she goes, well, I know they're not singles. Like, I've been doing my research. And it's like, that's not how conversations go. Like, that's not how you learn about people's culture. It's just like doing your research on the internet and then going up to them and being like, locks, right? Am I right? Are you wearing, like, is it cocoa butter? Is that what, did you moisturize with cocoa butter today? Is that what you did? Like, that's not what you do. Like, you learn about things just naturally, like, in, you know, like, in regular conversation. So yeah, I just, but when she said, is that a roller set? I almost fell out. But Lauren London basically told Jonah Hill's mom, like, look, I'm not a toy. She goes, I know your intentions are good. I know what your intentions are, but, like, I'm not your little plaything. You probably tell your friends every time you hang out with me, like, you know, like it's cool to hang out with the black person, or, you know, and she basically went off on her. And then Jonah Hill's mom is, like, trying to interrupt it. She keeps going, no, let me talk. And then she starts to, like, cry, because she's like, oh, that's not what I meant, you know. And she's like, oh, so let me guess, you're gonna cry now? Why? Because you think I'm being aggressive? Because, you know, like, I'm the angry black woman, blah, blah, blah. So it was that whole situation. And I don't know, like, I thought both, I think both of the talking points were really, really, really good. And before all that happened, the Jonah Hill's best friend on the podcast told Ezra, like, white people and black people will never not get along, or something like that. And, you know, and of course he's thinking, like, how can that be? Like, I'm about to marry a black woman. Yeah. So anyway, after they both gave their little monologues or little speeches, you know, they met up, they're like, we need to talk. And basically it was like, this isn't going to work because of the way that, you know, the dad treats Ezra and how the mom treats Amira. And so, you know, so they decided it's best, you know, to just split up, because clearly, like, it's not going to work, because they're about to be a family, and it's like, they both, like, they can't move within that space together, you know, because Amira loves her dad and Ezra loves his mom. So they split up. And then, you know, there's a lot of good talking points within. Eddie Murphy listens to Ezra's podcast, and the mom is listening to the podcast, and like they both have like a light bulb, like, you know, what is it called? You know, boom, revelation. And then, you know, they get the kids back together, whatever. So, I mean, the movie was, I mean, I don't think the movie was like, oh my God, this is the best movie I've ever seen. But I think it was necessary to see those types of things on screen that happen all the time, like from both sides, you know, not just like, oh, like I'm the naive white woman, you know, but like you have to see like how it affected Lauren London, and then, you know, like this, you know, this Hotep dad, and how it affected this, you know, this white man who just wanted to marry the woman he loved. So I don't know, it was a necessary, well, I don't know, it was a necessary movie. Like, I liked it. I thought the message was good. I thought the message was clear. And of course, this is not for all interracial relationships. Like, I know, I get it, I understand. So there's that. And so a couple things. So one, I did see people saying things like, oh, that movie was so unrealistic because a dude like Jonah Hill can never bag a Lauren London. Why can't he? I thought looks weren't everything. I thought looks didn't matter, because Jonah Hill's personality is dope as fuck. So why can't he pull somebody like Lauren London? Why? Like, please riddle me that one. And I find it funny how men are okay with, like, they're not okay with beautiful black women dating mediocre looking white men. But let's talk about the white women, some of the white women that these black men date. Make it make sense, because I'm not quite getting it. So men were mad about that. And then also, this is just whatever. And they did touch on it in the movie, but like Eddie Murphy, and I know black people come in all shades, I get that, but Eddie Murphy and Nia Long producing a Lauren London. But Eddie Murphy did say your white grandpa is the reason why, you know. And it's a movie. It is what it fucking is. So when I watched this movie, it reminded me of this book that I just read, and it's called Such a Fun Age. Now that book, again, it had to do with race, and I think the more books and movies like this that are more realistic, and they talk about the elephant in the room rather than just pretending that race doesn't matter, I think more people will start to understand why race is very important. So this book, it was called Such a Fun Age, and it was about a black girl who is a babysitter / nanny for a wealthy white family. And then a situation happens where, you know, a nosy white woman thinks that the black babysitter, like, I guess, kidnapped the girl that she babysits for, or whatever. You know, basically gets the cops called. It was security. Gets security called on her in the grocery store, and this white man records the entire thing. And long story short, her and the white man start to date. And come to find out the white man that she's dating, like, only, like, exclusively dates black women, and he's like really big into black culture. But the wealthy white woman that the babysitter / nanny, that she nannies for, used to date the white boy that she's now dating, you know, when they were in high school. And it's just weird. Do I want to use the word? I was gonna turn, but I'm not. Do I want to use the word weird? Well, the white woman, yeah, like didn't understand why he only surrounded himself around black people. Whereas the white man thought, you know, the white girl that he used to date was like very privileged and entitled. And I don't know, it was just seeing like race from just like all different points of view. It was a really good book. I actually enjoyed it. Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. You should watch. You should read it. You should watch You People, and you should read Such a Fun Age. I think they correlate well, and I think books and movies like that are necessary this day and age, and not just like historical books. I think you can make a comedy out of it without being like stereotypical or to negative stereotype, a situation. Like, it needs to be more real life. It needs to be based more on reality. So 26 minutes later, that was topic number 1. Topic number 2, Tom fucking Brady. So Tom Brady has decided that he's going to retire from football. And here's the thing about Tom Brady. Tom Brady proved himself years ago that he was the greatest. He won like 1 trillion Super Bowls with the New England Patriots, and then he went on to win with the team in Florida and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There it is. And then and so when he left New England, I think was it the first year that he won, or was it the second year? Either way, he told his wife, hey, after this season, I'm done, I'm retiring, because that's the deal that they had. So they had that deal, and after he won the Super Bowl, which number one, you won, you proved it. You know what I mean? You were with the New England Patriots, you won 100 times. You went with Tampa Bay, a new coach, a new team, and you won. So you proved it. There's nothing left to prove. He retired for 7 days and then was like, no, I want to go back. I miss football too much. And his wife, Giselle, divorced him. And people got so butthurt. They're like, you don't ask people to stop living their lives or to stop doing what they love. But they fail to forget that Giselle, who does and was making more money than Tom Brady, put her career on hold as a model to have his children. She raised those children, and then they had a deal. After this season, you will retire, and then we will family together. And he already had another job lined up with being a broadcaster or an analyst or whatever. So he wasn't going to be completely done with football, but playing football and being an analyst are two completely different things, right? When you're an analyst, you don't have to work out and practice hours and hours and hours per day. So she was going to have her husband back, and then when he unretired, that was like a slap in the face. And people are mad at Giselle for leaving him because he went back on his promise, but people aren't mad at Tom Brady for making Giselle put her career on hold for him. And people can argue she chose to. Yeah, but he also chose to tell her that he was going to retire, and then he chose to unretire, and then didn't even make the playoffs. That's embarrassing. If that is not quit while you're ahead, I don't know what that is. There's so many life lessons that are learned, and it's you watch these lessons being taught, but you still don't want to learn from them. Because Tom Brady, it's he was ahead. He was married, he had kids. I mean, he still has kids. He was married, he has kids, and he already had another job lined up for him, and then he decided, I'm gonna play again because I think I can. No. Like, yes, you're great, but you're not that great, sir. And now you're ending your career with not a Super Bowl win when you could have won with a Super Bowl win. That's embarrassing. So we'll see what happens with Tom Brady. And like Giselle, she wished him warm wishes or well wishes or something like that. It was like, I wish him all the warmth, wellness that his future may bring or something. And I was like, damn, like she's really done with him. But she gave him a chance and he went back on it. So it is what it is. So anyway, I am almost at my son's school. So I'm on my way to get him. And and yeah, so that was my little rant car vlog for the day. Let's chit chat. If you guys have watched You People, or if you guys have read the book Such a Fun Age, we can talk about it in the comments below. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye.